KREM 2 News at 6 continues now.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Mark Hanrahan.
And I'm Jane McCarthy. Tenants of a North Spokane senior apartment complex say they were caught off guard by a sudden rent hike. With many on fixed incomes, they say they just can't afford the steep increase. Now they are organizing and have even gotten the attention of a city councilwoman, Kate Burke. Well, right now she is meeting with tenants. KREM 2's Alexa Block has more on what tenants have to say.
The people that live here at the Vintage Apartments say that they were blindsided by news that their rent was going to increase, and they had just a few months to come up with the money. Now they're meeting tonight to talk about it.
People are up in arms about it.
That was the reaction after tenants here at the Vintage Apartments learned their rent was climbing, and for some it's a very steep hike.
It was like the villagers carrying torches and up to the pitchforks up to the castle, you know. It's just a mob action. And I don't blame them.
Steve Richardson moved in just a few months ago. While it varies by tenant, on August 1st, Steve's monthly rent will go up by more than $100.
I don't like it, certainly. I mean, that's $119 I could put to better use.
Others will pay even more. What makes things worse is that the people who live here are seniors. Many of them are on fixed incomes.
I went and talked to the office and they said it went up almost $200 and you're going to have to pay it.
Terry McCabe has lived here for nearly 12 years.
So I don't even make $800 a month to live on, and that's with SSI and Social Security. And if they go up $200, that takes more than half my income.
The tenants say there's a clause in their rental agreement which allows landlords to increase their rent if the Bureau of Labor and Statistics finds that Spokane County's median income has increased. We reached out to the company that manages the complex, FPI Management, which is based in California, but we have not heard back.
I think they're just wanting to get us out of here so they, low-income people, so they can have the apartment for higher pay, and that's all they're concerned about.
Now, tenants have come together to speak up, in hope perhaps it will save others like them the same kind of financial pain. In Spokane, Alexa Block, KREM 2 News.
Hundreds of people rallied in downtown Spokane this afternoon to voice their opposition to a new Spokane County jail. The demonstrators were with the Unitarian Universalists Association. There are no official plans to build a new jail, but the county is exploring the possibility. Demonstrators say the country should spend their money on services to help people rather than incarcerating them.
The Spokane County Sheriff's Office is still searching for the driver who crashed into a deputy on Interstate 90 last night. The deputy was heading east trying to stop a stolen vehicle when the driver took off. After a short pursuit, the driver hit the barrier, got out, and took off on foot. At some point, another deputy heading the opposite direction stopped to help the eastbound deputy, and his patrol car was hit by another vehicle. The Sheriff's Office has not released a description of the person, but if you do have any information, you're urged to call Crime Check at the number on your screen.
The Washington State Attorney General's office may file more sex crime charges against an Asotin County judge after a third possible victim came forward. Scott Galena is already facing rape and sexual assault charges. The AG's office now wants to file another assault charge after a woman told Washington State Patrol he groped her and made inappropriate comments. In total, 9 women told investigators Galena sexually harassed them at the Asotin County Courthouse. He pleaded not guilty to all the charges last month. He was appointed to the Asotin County Superior Court as a judge in 2014.
Taking a live look at downtown Spokane. Now, we are seeing good air quality tonight, but with that worse than average fire outlook, one part of the state is already preparing clean air shelters. The city of Seattle is outfitting 5 buildings with special filters and sensors to serve as kind of escapes where people can go to breathe clean air if needed. In Spokane, we've already seen one day with hazardous air quality this year.
And at the University of Idaho, a team of researchers make wildfires their business. In fact, the U of I has the oldest wildfire research program in the country.
Right now, staff members are studying several aspects of fires and how they impact the environment. KREM 2's Taylor Vito gives us a look at the program.
Well, these wildfire researchers here at the University of Idaho certainly stay busy. There's a lot to study with fires, ranging from how we interact with it, how to manage it, and including how it impacts those fighting the fires.
So this is a cross-section of a tree.
Something you've probably seen before, but an important tool when it comes to stuff like this.
When a fire comes through, it actually damages the cambium.
Dr. Charles Gable is what you could call a wildfire expert. He's part of a research team studying all wildfires all the time.
Our program is focused on understanding the ecology and management of fire.
The school says their fire sciences program is the oldest in the country. Over a dozen faculty members make up the research team, and the specific topics are wide-ranging, like prescribed burns and how effective those are, how wildfires impact climate change, and how much rest and nutrition smoke jumpers receive on the fire lines.
A lot of what we do is taking the science and putting that into practice.
Gable says that over the next decade or two, the amount of people living in wildfire-prone areas may double or triple. Wildfires affect thousands of people, we all know that, and other aspects, like smoke, seem to get to all of us.
We're really making a difference in terms of people's lives.
U of I also has experimental forests where students and staff can do prescribed burns and other activities hands-on. Now, more than ever, it feels like wildfire is serious business. And there along the way will be Vandal researchers helping us fully understand those fires. In Moscow, Taylor Vido, KREM 2 News.
Well, lightning is the cause of some of our fires here, and tonight some of us are continuing to see thunderstorms.
Meteorologist Thomas Patrick is tracking that for us in the Weather Center. Thomas?
Yeah, always a watchful eye on Doppler radar when it comes to those thunderstorms. Looks like that activity starting to slow down a bit. As for temperatures today, at the coolest they've been in a while. In Sandpoint, it was only 59. Didn't even get to 60 degrees today. Spokane, it was 63 overall. But to Doppler radar, there are those showers. Had thunderstorms earlier in the afternoon. Not seeing any lightning strikes popping up, and that's certainly good news. And it also means that the heaviest downpours, which are always associated with those storms, those are absent, at least as of the time being. So scattered showers. It usually rains for about 5 or 10 minutes at a time, and then we'll get a little bit of a break, and then you always look downwind for the next round to come through. So that scattered activity continuing for most of the night with a chance tomorrow morning, especially in areas to the south and to the east. It's the first day of summer. The sunrise as early as it's going to get at 4:51 a.m. The summer solstice, though, is at exactly 8:54 a.m. So a long day and a short night ahead of us, but temperatures not as hot as they certainly could be for the start of the summer season. I have what to expect this weekend and all of next week coming up in just a few minutes.
We'll talk to you then, Thomas. Thank you very much. Tensions continue to escalate between the United States and Iran after a U.S. drone was shot down early this morning. Iran says the drone violated Iranian airspace, but U.S. military officials say the unmanned plane was in international airspace. President Donald Trump says there is documented evidence of what he called an attack, but he did not say how the U.S. will respond.
Iran made a big mistake. This drone was in international waters, clearly.
Tension escalating between the two countries. Last week, the U.S. blamed Iran for attacks on 2 oil tankers. The U.S. just deployed about 1,000 additional troops to the region. Congressional leaders were at the White House today for a closed-door meeting this afternoon.
This is the saddest day of my legislative life.
The Oregon State Legislature is clashing over a controversial climate change bill. Republicans are furious over a carbon cap and trade bill. In a show of protest, Senate Republicans just didn't show up for a scheduled vote today. Governor Kate Brown authorized the Oregon State Patrol to round up GOP senators. Some of them, though, have just left the state. The bill would implement a sweeping cap and trade system in Oregon that would charge polluters for their greenhouse gas production. Republicans say it would hit their rural communities hard, as well as industries like logging, because it could raise fossil fuel prices and send jobs out of state.
We are 2 senators short of being able to do any business on the floor of the Oregon State Senate.
And the Senate is in the final hurdle for that bill. It has already passed the Oregon House, and it does have the governor's support.
The Spokane Indians just added 2 new people to their Rim of Honor at Avista Stadium. Former Indians and Boston Red Sox player Bill Buckner and Spokane native Andrew Vathis are the newest members. Andrew worked at Albertsons on Spokane's South Hill for decades. He was hit and killed while walking home from work earlier this year. He left behind a legacy of kindness and smiles. The Indians will honor both men in a pregame ceremony before tomorrow's home opener, and a classy move by that organization,
for sure.
Right?
Well, people may be more honest than you might think. A new worldwide study shows you're more likely to get your lost wallet back if it's full of cash. We'll explain why.
You're watching KREM 2 News at 6.
The United States women's national soccer team defeated Sweden in the final group stage game at the 2019 World Cup in France today. The women beat their opponents 2-0. The Swedish team was meant to be the Americans' first equal competition after their blowout games against Thailand and Chile. The teams will advance on to play Spain on Monday.
A new survey shows last winter hit the U.S. honeybee population particularly hard. The Bee-Informed Partnership found nearly 38% of honeybee colonies died. Beekeepers say it's common for bees to die in the winter, but those losses are unusually high. Bees pollinate $15 billion worth of U.S. food crops, and according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, 1/3 of the human diet comes from pollinators. Beekeepers say this is something we need to closely monitor over the next few years.
Well, we tell you about new studies all the time, but this one is just restoring a lot of hope in humanity.
Yeah, researchers planted thousands of lost wallets around the world in an honesty experiment. So they found people are actually more likely to return a wallet if it contains money, and the more cash, the better. So researchers were surprised. You probably are too. Here's what they did. They planted 17,000 wallets in 40 different countries, and then they kept track of how often people contacted the owners.
So when a wallet had no cash, people tried to return it about 40% of the time. If it had about $13, that bumped up to 60%. Then they raised the stakes. Some of the wallets had more than $90 inside, and for those, the response rate jumped up to 72%. Researchers say one possible reason, people don't want to feel like they're a thief.
Some wallets also contained a key, and those were actually the most likely to get a return response. Researchers say that demonstrates a concern for others is the main reason for returning those wallets, because a key has no value to a stranger.
Well, that makes me feel a little better.
We like that.
Yeah, good stuff.
For the first time in a decade, a grizzly bear was actually spotted in north central Idaho. That is unique. Tonight, the state does have warning for hunters in that area.
You're watching KREM 2 News at 6.
Welcome back. Wildlife officials say a grizzly bear was spotted in north central Idaho for the first time in a decade. A hunting guide saw the bear in the Nez Perce Clearwater National Forest earlier this month. The grizzly bear is collared and it's tracked by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. Black bear hunting season is happening right now, and since the grizzly bear is protected, Idaho Fish and Game wants to remind hunters to watch what they are shooting.
Always sound advice, right?
Yes.
Tom is back now with weather and tracking kind of some rain showers move through the area.
It looked like that grizzly bear didn't mind the rain or getting wet, right?
Yeah.
Well, you know, he's just being a bear.
Exactly. So hopefully you don't mind seeing a little bit of rain as we have through most of the afternoon hours today. See those dark, low-hanging clouds over Coeur d'Alene. Doesn't look like it's raining at the moment, but some areas off in the distance sure looks like it. It has been scattered yet again today. Every once in a while we'll see a couple rumbles of thunder, a few lightning strikes, especially near the mountainous areas in Idaho, and that's where they've been. Here's the last 6 hours, and you'll notice when you start the loop here, there are those lightning strikes just kind of trickling over the higher terrain in Idaho, just scattered showers on the Washington side of the inland northwest. So as of right now, everything just drifting from northwest to southeast, still scattered variety. I just saw a couple lightning strikes over the Blue Mountains right at the bottom of the frame there. Scattered showers for the rest of the evening, so if you are heading out for dinner, you might get rained on for 5 or 10 minutes, and maybe not an outside dinner location for tonight. Here's the reason why we have all these showers, just a little disturbance moving through the Pacific Northwest, supplying the moisture, supplying the cool weather to work with for today, but it will part by tomorrow and certainly by the weekend. So we take you to Future Tracker. There are those scattered showers, the little green bits you see there, lingering through tomorrow morning. This is what, the 8 o'clock morning hour. So some of our southern and eastern areas may see a few showers first thing in the morning. But after that, should be dry most of the day, save for 1 or 2 more showers in the afternoon. That's 1 p.m. on Friday. That would be a blip, and then we're good to go for this upcoming weekend. Much cooler today, as mentioned, especially when you compare it to this day last week where it was 91, a record high temperature there. Today it was just 63 in Spokane, so about 30 degrees cooler overall. But this is where we bottom out. Tomorrow's the first day of summer. a little warmer, but certainly cool for the summer season. When I say summer, I don't think 69. No, but at least it's just the first day. We'll warm things up a bit more for the weekend, but not getting carried away, and I think that's the important factor here. Our long-range outlook takes us through the rest of the month. So this is the last few days of June, trending a little cooler than average, but that should be very pleasant. Plenty of days with temperatures in the 70s. Maybe an 80 here or there before we get to July. Tomorrow's the first day of the Spokane Indians, the home opener, I should say. They've been on the road all this past week here. So first pitch, 69 degrees. That last inning, about 63. Should be a great first day of baseball back in Spokane. Those showers will be out of the way by then. Weekend looks fantastic. Might be one of those pesky mountain showers on Saturday, but I think that should be an afterthought there. Very minimal. Look for showers, at least a chance, Wednesday, Thursday of next week. But 70s is good. 70s is good heading into summer.
Yeah, we'll take that. Hey, guess who's back? Brenna Green is back.
Guess who's back? Back.
Brenna's back. Tell your friend. Well, she has an update now on the NBA draft and specifically Brandon Clark.
Yes, we can now tell you Brandon Clark officially headed to the Memphis Grizzlies with the 21st pick. This is really, really interesting. The Grizzlies are in a total rebuild mode right now. They just traded their starting point guard, Mike Conley. This is going to be a great fit for Brandon because he is going to see playing time on this squad, I believe. There are so many players that are trying to make their mark in the NBA. He's going to be one of them. Also, really fun, he is going to get to play with Ja Morant of Murray State, the top point guard in the nation this year. That is going to be an awesome matchup. I mean, you saw what he did with Perkins. Can you imagine Ja Morant? That's going to be incredible. We're going to have more on this in our later shows as well. Hear from Brandon after after his pick at his press conference. Also, one other note: Matisse Thybulle of UW drafted by the Sixers on the 20th pick. So we had a little Washington flavor at 20 and 21.
So Brewy's been drafted now. Brandon Clark's been drafted. Let's cross our fingers for Zach Norvell, right?
Yeah, and there's really no way to predict where he's headed. He's going to be so much lower in the draft that it's hard to really pinpoint where he could go. But hopefully we will get that third pick and make some more history tonight for Gonzaga.
Cool. Keep us posted, Brandon. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, well, feline fans can finally celebrate. Every day is Catter Day in Spokane.
Indeed, Spokane just named one of the most cat-friendly cities in the entire country.
You're watching KREM 2 News at 6.
Welcome back. Can you feel it? It turns out Spokane is one of the top cat-friendly cities in the entire country.
I knew it.
Yeah, right?
No.
This is according to real estate company Redfin. To create the list, they looked into how many veterinary clinics are in the area and if the area has any native plants that are hazardous to cats.
Then they looked at the percentage of homes for sale with cat-friendly features like high ceilings and extra bathrooms with four litter boxes. So Spokane came in as the second best city. Corvallis, Oregon took the top spots. It seems like they would also factor in homes maybe with rat or mice problems as being cat-friendly, right?
That is very
Supply of
cat-friendly.
foods. Yeah.
That's part of the reason we love them.
Should be part of it.
Thanks for spending time with us.
Not everyone.